Hey guys, Casey here. I just wanted to put up a quick disclaimer at the top of the video. I'm going to show you how I made a cheap DIY washout booth, and then for the disposal method of how to get all the emulsion and emulsion stripper out of the washout booth, I'm going to be showing you how I ran a garden hose from the bottom of the tub out into my backyard and into the grass. I didn't do my proper research on this, but doing this even with eco-friendly and biodegradable chemicals is not very environmentally safe, and depending on your area it could be illegal and you could face fines. But it's up to you to do the research, find out what your local laws are on waste management and how you can dispose of your own waste. I am, however, going to leave this method in the video because I think it is useful. It can drain out of your washout booth into a bucket of some kind so you can store it for later. I don't want anybody to get in trouble. I don't want anybody to receive a fine. I don't want anybody to hurt the environment because of this video or anything like that. So do your research and do what's ethical and right for the environment. Alright, now listen to what this dummy has to say. Hey guys, Casey here from StartScreenPrintingNow.com. Today I want to show you how I built a $60 washout booth. This washout booth can be used to wash out screens that you've already burned that had emulsion. You're washing out the emulsion, or you're reclaiming the screen and starting over. And when you're first starting out with screen printing, you probably get away with washing out your screens in a bathtub or your kitchen sink. But if you're going to be doing that, you're probably going to make a huge mess in your house. I know my wife would literally stab me in the heart if she saw me washing out screens and destroying her bathtub. So this is a lot better than getting stabbed in the heart. And I'm going to show you how I did it for $60. There may be some supplies that you may already have on hand you don't need to get. I already had a garden hose, but I did need to get one more. One garden hose is going to be used to spray the screen, attach a wand to it, and the other hose is going to come out the bottom of the screen and go out into my yard. I am using environmentally safe emulsion, so I'm hoping that it will just go out into the grass and not kill it. For a full list of all the parts I've used and links to those products, go to startscreenprintingnow.com/DIY washout booth. I'll give you a shopping list with links to all those items so you can get it all online, get it delivered to you at once. Also, I'll give you the plans for the how to cut up the corrugated plastic to make the shroud in the back. Alright, so what we're basing this washout booth build on is this Utilitub laundry sink. Now this is a tub you get for like your basement or your garage, so you can do laundry or wash off your hands when you're muddy. Now I got this at Home Depot for about $30. I went to 3 different stores in town and I could not find this sink for $30 in the store. I had to go online to find that price. In the store they have something very similar to this for $60. Some of them were $50-ish, but I could not find this in the store in person for $30. Check online. You might want to check your own Home Depots, but I checked 3 and I could not find this $30 price. So as you can see, it's nice and deep, really wide too. What we're going to do is we're going to make a shroud for this thing out of chloroplast here. It's going to have legs and be raised up, and what we're going to do is have the water drain out the bottom here, and instead of going to like a pipe or something, we're going to have this drain into a regular garden hose that can go out into my yard. Alright, let's get started. Flipping the sink over, we just need to slide the 4 legs into place. They slide in without any hardware in it, just slip right in. Dude, seriously. Next we attach these little plastic feet to the bottom of the legs. They attach with a simple screw and a nut. And they can be adjusted up and down so that they're level with the ground. Alright, now that was the easy part. Alright, so that was the easy part, obviously. So our sink is built, but we're not done. We still need to build a shroud, like a wall behind the sink, so that when I'm spraying the screen out, washing it out, I'm not spraying water all over my garage. Also, it gives it the screen something to lean against. Obviously, I can just put a screen up in here and lean it against these walls since it's so high, but we do want to prevent water from spraying everywhere. We want it all to go down the sink drain, out the bottom, and into the yard. So we're going to do that next. To lay out the corrugated plastic, I measured the back wall of the sink, which was about 17.5 inches wide before it starts to curve on either side. Next, we will have a fold and about 2.5 inches of width so that the corrugated plastic can traverse the little rounded edges. And finally, the side walls will be about 6.75 inches wide and use the rest of the width of the corrugated plastic. I started off by measuring all my folds and cuts and marking them on the corrugated plastic so I wouldn't get confused, and then I cut off the excess that I wouldn't be using. I had set it up so that I'd be folding with the grain of the corrugated plastic because I found that this made it a ton easier. I personally made all my cuts using a utility knife, but you could probably get away with using a X-Acto knife or something similar to like that. One thing I did find out as I went along is that if you score through the first layer of the corrugated plastic on the back side of the fold, it allows you to fold it a lot easier and get a lot cleaner fold. Upon my first fold, I found that the corrugated plastic kind of wants to crease wherever it wants, so to remedy this, I grabbed a pizza cutter and I used it to put a little crease at the start and beginning of the folds. This gave me a little bit more control of the fold and allowed me to kind of control where the crease would be. Even using this method, it wasn't perfect, but I was still pretty happy with it. To start, I made all my cuts and folds for the side panels and for the top part. And then it was time to see if what I had created would actually fit in the tub, and it did. To attach the board to the tub, I would be using number 8 3/4 inch construction screws as well as some number 8 finishing screws. Now, the key when screwing the panels into the board was not to over tighten them, as the finishing washers did have a sharp edge on them and could shear right through the corrugated plastic and kind of ruin it and tear through it. Alright, so for this next part we're going to be building a little shelf in our washout booth. I could just have my screen sitting in the bottom of my wash tub, but it would be getting all the emulsion that we're washing off of it onto the screen on the bottom of the screen. It'd just be sitting in all that muck. So I do have this tie rack here I got from Home Depot also. It's just got rubberized little arms to hold it up, and all these slots will allow the water to just drain off of it and down into the tub. And the reason that we have this chloroplast backing is there's a little bit of translucency. So when I'm shooting water onto the screen, I can have a light shining through the back of the corrugated plastic, and I can see the details of my design and what I'm doing. I can also raise up my garage door and allow sunlight to come through here, and it'll shine through the back of this. Gives a little bit of translucency, and I can see what I'm doing. So I was going to use this tie rack, but I did find instead I found this whiteboard marker tray. This is one of those Claridge ones. You see them at schools and stuff like that. I found this at a garage sale. I think normally these are a little bit expensive if you try to buy it normally. So I would try and find something similar. So what I'm going to be doing is drilling holes in this in the bottom to allow water to fall through and it won't pool up on my screen. And then I'm going to drill some holes here to mount it to the back of the tub and through the corrugated plastic. So we'll do that now. Now keep in mind that this shelf could be made of almost anything. You could use bike storage hooks, it could be a closet shelf, just get resourceful with it. After the shelf was in place, I gave her a test run, and it worked. Booyah! Then I busted out my trusty pizza cutter again and used it to make creases to make the top. Using a marker, I traced the angle that I would need to use to make the flaps. These flaps would fold down and allow me to attach the top to the sides. Using the utility knife, I cut out a small flap for the angled walls and then a large flap for the side walls. And once again, I wasn't the best at making these folds, but they worked pretty well. And here you can see the finished cutouts and how the flaps would fit. Now I simply just screwed the flaps down. Two screws for each bigger flap and then one screw for the smaller flap. At this point the booth is almost done and it's looking so good. Look how epic it looks. Moving on to the bottom of the tub, we can flip the tub over and take a look at its butthole. I had to find a way to get the 1.5 inch diameter output to empty into a regular standard garden hose. So first I grabbed a 1.5 inch diameter female PVC adapter. This would allow me to use a 1.5 inch to 3/4 inch reducer bushing. The reducer bushing had a 3/4 inch threaded hole which allowed me to attach the garden hose. These PVC pieces fit pretty well, but I was afraid they'd fall apart, so I wanted to attach them with regular clear PVC cement with a purple primer. First I brushed some primer on the areas where I'd be putting the glue. You can see this stuff is super caustic because it strips the barcode right off the PVC. Having the cap off the can for even just a few seconds made me feel like I was going to die. The fumes were so awful. I don't know why I drank some later. After about 2 minutes the primer was dry and I was ready to put on the PVC glue. I put some on the outside of the reducer bushing and on the inside of the female adapter. Then I slipped the thing into the thing and allowed them to dry. I let the glue dry them together for a few hours and then I screwed it onto the bottom of the tub. Once that was on, I could screw the garden hose into the reducer bushing. Since this hose was going to be used for drainage, I tried to get the cheapest one I could find at Home Depot. At this point, the washout booth was finished and ready for testing. I hooked up another garden hose to my running water and used that one to spray out the screen. And with the other hose connected to the tub and laying in the yard, it would allow the washout to go into the grass. So as you can see, it wasn't too hard to build. Mostly the shroud was the hardest part to do, cutting it up and getting it folded just right. The tub went together really easy. Putting the shelf in there, a little bit tough, but this works out great. It's really small and lightweight and fits in the garage perfectly. The one thing I did notice after building this, once you're done building it, I would go to the hardware store and get these little rubber tips for the ends of the screws, because your screws are going to be sticking out of your washout booth, kind of like Pinhead and Hellraiser. And these little rubber tips will help keep your kids from like slicing their face open on washout booth when they run by it or something like that. So that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope this works out for you guys too. If you like what you saw, go to startscreenprintingnow.com/DIY washout booth, and you can get the shopping list as well as a template for the corrugated plastic shroud, and it'll show you all the measurements on how to make that and cut it up and fold it. If you like the video, hit the like button. It helps other people see it. And if you want to see more videos, hit subscribe, and you'll see more in the future. I also leave a comment. I do love it when you guys comment. You guys say awesome things. And you also let me know what you guys are looking for, and it helps me plan out a schedule of other things to do. So like, subscribe, and comment, and happy printing, guys. Thanks.